Her daughter's bed was empty, cold, and Sarah's trembling fingers found nothing but rumpled sheets where 7-year-old Emma should have been sleeping. Sarah Martinez had been blind for 3 years. A car accident took her sight, her confidence, and very nearly her will to keep going. But Emma gave her purpose. Every morning, her daughter's small hand in hers was the light that guided them both through a world Sarah could no longer see. She'd learned to navigate their tiny apartment by memory. 12 steps from Emma's room to the kitchen. 8 more to the front door. She knew every creak in the floorboard, every draft from the window, but this morning something felt wrong. "Emma?" Her voice cracked as she called out. "Baby, where are you?" Nothing. She moved faster now, panic rising like water in her chest. The bathroom, empty. The living room, silent. She felt along the walls, her heart hammering so hard she thought it might break through her ribs. The front door was unlocked. Sarah's knees nearly buckled. She never left it unlocked. Never. Not since losing her sight. Not since becoming a single mother in a neighborhood. She couldn't watch with her own eyes. She had no idea that the person who took Emma was closer than she thought, and the reason would shatter everything she believed about kindness. Sarah stumbled into the hallway, her phone clutched in shaking hands. She'd already dialed 911 twice, but her fingers kept slipping. Fear had turned her body into something unfamiliar, uncooperative. "Sarah?" The voice came from her left. Close. Too close. It was David Chen, her neighbor from apartment 3B. She'd spoken to him maybe twice since moving in 6 months ago. He always seemed watching. Not in a threatening way, but attentive. Too attentive, maybe. "David, Emma's gone. My daughter, she's missing. The door was open and I know," he said quietly. "I have her." Time stopped. Sarah's breath caught somewhere between her throat and her lungs. The phone slipped from her fingers, clattering on the worn carpet. "You... what?" "She's safe," David continued, his voice steady but soft. "She's in my apartment. She came to my door about 20 minutes ago, crying. 'Sarah, I need you to come with me. There's something you need to understand.'" Every instinct screamed danger, but something in his tone, something broken and honest, made her feet move forward. David's hand touched her elbow gently, guiding her. Sarah's mind raced through 1,000 terrible possibilities. Should she scream? Run? But Emma was with him. Her baby was in his apartment. "Why did she come to you?" Sarah's voice trembled. "Because she was scared," David said. "And because I think she knew I'd be awake." They stopped. She heard a door open. "Mommy!" Emma's small body crashed into hers, and Sarah dropped to her knees, pulling her daughter close. She felt Emma's face, her hair, checking for injuries, for anything wrong. "Baby, what happened? Why did you leave?" "There was a man," Emma whispered against her mother's neck. "At our window. He was trying to open it. I got scared and ran out to get help." Sarah's blood turned to ice. "I saw him too," David said quietly. "From my window. I called the police. They're on their way. But Sarah, there's something else." She heard him move across the room. Something clicked. A laptop, maybe, or a recording device. "I've been watching your apartment," David admitted. "Not in the way you're thinking. I've been protecting you." What he said next would explain the guilt he'd carried for 3 years, and the debt he could never repay. 3 years ago, David began, his voice heavy with something that sounded like shame. "I was driving home from a late shift. It was raining. I was tired, distracted. I checked my phone for just 2 seconds. Sarah's chest tightened. She knew what came next. Somehow she knew. There was a car in front of me. I didn't see it brake. By the time I looked up, it was too late. "I hit you," the room tilted. Even without sight, Sarah felt the world spin. "I was the one who called 911, David continued, and now his voice was breaking. "I stayed until the ambulance came. I watched them take you away. I saw the blood on your face, and I knew I'd destroyed your life. When I learned you'd lost your sight, He stopped. Sarah heard him take a shaky breath. "I went to jail for 18 months. Reckless driving. When I got out, I was lost. No job, no future. I was living in my car when I saw you moving into this building. I recognized you immediately." "You've been watching me," Sarah whispered. "All this time. I took the apartment across from yours. I paid extra. I needed to know you were safe. It became my purpose. The only way I could live with what I'd done. I installed a camera system that monitors the hallway and your door. Not inside your apartment. Never inside. Just making sure no one hurt you. Making sure you and Emma were okay. For 3 years, the man who stole her sight had been the shadow keeping her safe. Sarah sat frozen, Emma still clinging to her. Her mind couldn't hold all the pieces together. Anger, confusion, fear, gratitude. They crashed against each other like waves. Tonight, David said. I saw someone trying your window at 2 a.m. I went out immediately, confronted him. He ran. That's when Emma came to my door. She said she heard noises and got scared, and somehow she trusted me. Because you always smile at me, Emma said softly. And you leave flowers by our door sometimes. Mommy thinks they're from the building manager, but I saw you. A sound escaped Sarah's throat. Not quite a sob, not quite a laugh. You should have told me, she whispered. You should have... I know, David said. I was a coward. I thought if you knew who I was, it would bring back the pain. I thought watching over you silently was enough. But it wasn't about you, was it? It was about me, about my guilt. Police sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. Sarah's hands trembled as she reached forward into the darkness. David? I'm here. Her fingers found his face. She traced the features of a stranger who wasn't a stranger at all. Tears slipped down her cheeks. You can't give me back my eyes, she said. You can't undo that night. But tonight, you saved my daughter. You saved the only light I have left. David's voice broke completely. I'm so sorry. For everything. For that night. For the fear. For... I know, Sarah interrupted. I've been angry for 3 years. At God, at fate, at the faceless person who destroyed my life. But Emma is safe. And somehow, after all this time, the person I hated without knowing became the person who protected what matters most. Forgiveness didn't come in a wave. It came in a whisper. In the space between what was broken and what still remained whole, the police came. They caught the man who'd been casing apartments in the building for weeks. David gave them everything: footage, times, descriptions. As dawn broke, Sarah stood in her doorway with Emma asleep in her arms. David was across the hall, packing. He'd told the police everything, including his parole status. They'd arrested him for potential stalking charges, though Sarah refused to press them. Where will you go? She asked the empty hallway. I don't know. David's voice came back, tired but somehow lighter. Somewhere I can start over. Somewhere I can stop running from what I did. David? Yes? Thank you. For tonight, for all of it. Silence stretched between them. Then quietly, take care of her, Sarah. Take care of both of you. A door closed. Footsteps faded. Sarah stood there, her daughter's heartbeat against her chest, and realized something profound. Sometimes the people who hurt us become the people who save us, not to erase the past, but to prove that even broken things can still protect what's precious. She couldn't see the sunrise, but for the first time in 3 years, she felt its warmth. Have you ever had to forgive someone who changed your life forever? Do you believe some people come back into our lives to heal what they once broke?